by your admission, there were media reports of a terror-related event. And that media report, according to CTV, unless you're questioning their integrity now.
Where'd it come from?
Came from security officials in the Trudeau government.
Oh.
So do you think the CTV was irresponsible in putting out that tweet?
Clinton Jaws, I'm going to try to make this nice. I'm going to try to be nice. Let's just make it fun. Okay, let's make it fun. Because I get excited about things. I don't know why I'm doing this with my hands, but I get excited about things. And I get too worked up and I start yelling. I'm not going to do that this time. The news in Canada, don't shut it off. I'm going to show you something. I might be right. If I'm wrong, I want to hear you comment. Make a comment that I'm wrong. But I want you to see what I see. November 22nd, 2023, there's an accident at the border. There's a car coming from the U.S. It goes into, I think it makes it into Canada. Hits a booth of some sort. It explodes. A couple people die. And there's word, people are floating around the word terrorism. So on that date, Pierre Poilievre, he brings it up in the House of Commons. This is what he says.
Mr. Speaker, we've just heard media reports of a terrorist attack, an explosion at the Niagara crossing of the Canada-U.S. border. At least two people are dead, one is injured. It is the principal responsibility of government to protect the people. Can the Prime Minister give us an update on what he knows and what action plan he will immediately implement to bring home security for our people?
Mr. Speaker, this is obviously a very serious situation in Niagara Falls. There was a vehicle explosion at the Rainbow Bridge crossing. I've been briefed by the NSIA and the Minister of Public Safety. CBSA, RCMP, and Transport Canada are all fully engaged in providing the necessary support. There are a lot of questions, and we are following up to try and get as many answers as rapidly as possible. We are in close contact with U.S. officials, and we'll continue to work closely with them. We will continue to be engaged. We will provide updates. Updates I can give right now is there are 4 border crossings that are right now closed. We are taking this extraordinarily seriously. And Mr. Speaker, I will have to excuse myself now to go get further updates and work on this very serious situation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Anything wrong with that? No, of course not. To a normal person, that would just seem like a normal thing to say, right? Breakfast television in Toronto. This guy's name is Sid. And, I mean, I still like the guy. Okay, I don't like what he says anymore, but I like the guy. I used to watch him on TSN, Sportsnet, whatever. I get them mixed up. But he used to have a show with a guy, and they used to talk about sports. And I used to like what Sid used to have to say. But he got into politics. Do you want to hear what the news, because he's news, just listen to what he has to say. But listen to what all of these people have to say about Poilievre. This is what grosses me out. This is what gets me worked up.
So it felt like longer ago. So last Wednesday, that accident at the border took place.
Yes.
Where there was the vicious car accident with the Bentley, and no one in the moment knew what was going on. Not you, I.
By the way, guys, it wasn't a terrorist attack. 2 people were killed. They were going to a KISS concert.
Our elected officials, nobody knew. So I'm following that like everyone else as it's happening. And question period begins 2:15 in the House of Commons in Ottawa. And Pierre Poilievre, who's up, depending on which poll you look at, anywhere from 12 to 15 points up in the polls on our current Prime Minister, gets up as official leader of the opposition and would like an update. Fair question. The second point Pierre Poilievre raised was he said, according to broadcast reports, this was a terrorist attack. I was following that story like everyone else in the moment. And one of the rare moments, we all kind of knew the same thing roughly, because no one knew anything. The only outlet that was reporting a terrorist attack at that time was Fox News. I know that because I was on it like everyone else. So Pierre Poilievre got up in question period and cited this report. Now, the next day, in an exchange with a Canadian Press reporter, he was asked if that was appropriate for a member of the official opposition to just toss around media reports when really Justin Trudeau and his cabinet were learning on the fly what was going on here. And the exchange was Fascinating. Take a look.
Before we take a look, question period on that day, there was a delay. Bit of a large delay. It didn't start on time. They had to do some sort of vote. He wants you to think that Poilievre just got this from Fox News. And apparently, it's really bad to watch Fox News. This is what his point, that's what he's trying to get across. Even though Sid watches it. Sid just told you he watches Fox News. Sid doesn't watch Fox News. I guarantee you he does not watch Fox News. Because if he did, he wouldn't be the way he is. This guy doesn't listen to both sides. That's why he is the way he is. He's obsessed with protecting Trudeau. He's one-sided, and he'll only listen to one side.
Do you think it was responsible for you to call yesterday's explosion by the checkpoint at the Rainbow Bridge terrorism when no U.S. or Canadian officials said that was or authorities said that was the case, and when the New York governor also said there was no evidence to suggest terrorism activity?
Actually, you're wrong. You're a CP? Okay, so CP, by the way, CP, just for everyone's knowledge, did have to make 3 corrections.
Had to make 3 corrections. How's this tone, guys? Sounds pretty nice. Sounds pretty soft. Not even as aggressive as me, right? Keep on going.
Corrections for falsehoods that they put into a single article. I think that might be unprecedented. I'm actually thinking about checking with the Guinness Book of World Records to see if there's ever been a news agency that has had to issue 3 corrections for patent falsehoods that they admit they had been made in one single article, and now you've made yet another falsehood in your question.
He went on to cite the CTV report in terms of what he was raising.
Okay, hold on. Hold on. Look at these. Look at these people. They're disgusted. Over what? Watch what? Watch her. Look at her face. Watch her face. They're trying to come up with stuff. Watch this. Watch her face right here.
He went on to cite the CTV report in terms of what he was raising.
How about this one over here? What does she do? She does something, I think.
He went on to cite the CTV report in terms of what he was raising in the House of Commons. CTV had not released a report at that point. They did about 20 minutes after that. But in
see, really? Is that what you think?
the moment, again, this was a Fox News report, and I understand someone who wants to be the Prime Minister of the country not wanting to be the Fox News citing person. I get that. But that,
see, there's so much there, right? He's making fun of him for possibly watching Fox News. What is wrong with watching Fox News? He apparently watches it, which he doesn't. What's wrong with listening to both sides? You know, for years I thought Trump was a Russian spy because of CNN. Why wouldn't I watch Fox News? Do you actually think there was a delay, guys? We don't even really know what time Poilievre. He doesn't know exactly what time Poilievre spoke at. And who really cares? Who really cares if he's right or wrong? Poilievre got up there and said there was media reports. There was media reports, and it wasn't just Fox News. CTV reported government officials were operating under the assumption of a terror-related event. Global, potential terrorist attack. Toronto Star used word terrorism. CNN, possible terrorist attack. Associated Press and Fox used the word terrorism. But he brings up Fox News. Why? Obsessed with protecting Trudy. That's what this breakfast television is all about. This is what Canadian news is all about. This is what journalists do. This is why nobody trusts what these people have to say.
I get that. But that's how that played out. Who would like...
That's how that played out, guys. That's how that played out.
First dibs at this.
I'll start by saying that there has been, over the last few years, this consistent attack on the media. And right there, that question was asked. Instead of addressing the question itself, it goes on to attack the agency.
Such an attack, right? Such an attack. He's stating the truth. There was media reports. CP News, she was from CP News, that reporter. And he's just letting her know, hey, you guys screwed up 3 times. And your question is even wrong. You're asking him if it's irresponsible. Is it not irresponsible with what you did? I'm just reporting what the news... They're sitting in the House of Commons. You've seen what Trudeau said. He got up because he received the same news. They're receiving the news while they're in House of Commons. And Pierre Poilievre saying, maybe we should go do something about it. Trudeau says, yep, I'm out of here. I'm working on it. But they don't mention that Trudeau basically confirmed the news reports also.
Exchange shows is that there is this pressure or this consistent narrative that the media is putting out falsehoods on purpose.
Yeah.
And
on purpose. Why even bringing this stupidity up? This ain't even news. I can't even believe I'm talking about it. It gets better.
Whole fake news situation that we've been hearing about, ever since the pandemic began, where it's just something that's being fed, and I don't.
Who's feeding it?
Agree at all. Obviously, as someone who does news every day and knows how much we do try to check and verify things before they're being said out loud. So I'll leave it at that.
Leave it at what?
Well, what's interesting with that too. Completely agree, Tammy. It's not just what was said, it's also sort of how it was being said and the tone in which it was being said. I mean, it's one.
She didn't like his tone. Believe it? It was how it was said. And the tone. And did you have a problem with his tone?
One thing, if that's the opinion that he holds, but the tone didn't work for me when I was listening to it. It was aggressive in a way that isn't appealing when you're thinking about leadership and you're thinking
it's absolutely appealing, and it's refreshing to finally see. That's why everybody's going to vote for this guy. How can she be so wrong? How can she not see what everybody agrees with? That's the guy. That's the man. That's who we want. This is what we want to see. I said I wasn't going to get excited.
Appealing when you're thinking about leadership and you're thinking about dissent and you're thinking about conversations that need to happen. It was the way it was said too that caused me some pause.
Diva?
I would say the reporter, and my apologies, I don't recall the person's name right now, but
God, look at this. Look at this trinket. I can't stand that. I'm sorry. I just have to say it. Like, his partner has a matching trinket. They love how it dangles. I can't stand stuff that dangles, especially men who wear earrings. Absolutely grosses me out. Take it off. I'm sorry, but it's just nasty.
Reporter, and my apologies, I don't recall the person's name right now, but the way she asked the question was incredible. She said, do you think it was responsible? Incredible. That was the question. He already premeditated what he wanted to say to CP.
Oh, he was bracing.
Because you don't rhyme off what you just rhymed off without having that ready to go. So he knew as soon as she asked the question that was going to be his response, no matter what. He was just waiting for a moment to attack. Some people like that in their leader, to be condescending and aggressive with their words. We've seen that south of the border.
Oh, here we go, right? We've seen that south. What's he referring to? He's referring to Trump. When Trump got elected, people voted for him. They wanted Trump to be president. What part do you not get? What don't you get? What's wrong with south of the border?
That doesn't work for me. I'm not a big fan of that.
No, it doesn't work for me.
But you didn't answer the question, dude.
You didn't answer the question, dude. You know why? You know why he's saying that? Because they didn't finish the rest of the clip, which I'm going to later. He does answer it.
Just asked if it was responsible. You didn't answer yes or no on that.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like the polls that are out right now, we've cited them numerous times. These are not I love Pierre Poilievre polls. These are Trudeau fatigue numbers, plus the economy.
Okay, hold on. You can't just throw that in there.
Science.
Let's hear it.
These are Trudeau fatigue numbers, plus the economy.
He just throws that out there, right? Plus the economy. Why is the economy the way it is? It's because of Trudeau. You shut down the world because of COVID. New Year's Eve was shut down at 10 o'clock. I couldn't get booze after 10. Bonnie Henry said I couldn't sing in a bar. We had to shut down the TVs. Do you know how many businesses suffered? The economy took a huge blow because of Trudeau. If I was prime minister, this country would be one of the richest countries in the entire world. And the economy would be doing great. And I'm an idiot, basically. You said it, I didn't. Anybody could. Pierre Poilievre could. Do you not think the economy would be way better with Poilievre? Of course it would be.
If that's the reaction on a November day, 2 years out from an election. I am fascinated to see what he's like when he's really on that political rotisserie, and the country's really taking a look at what this is going to be like. As a voter in the GTA, and we matter here.
No, you don't matter.
As a voter in the GTA.
What the hell does that mean? As a voter in the GTA. This is how he got the job. By the way he talks, Tammy, let me tell you something. You know what I would do? We're not going to take this. His tone is aggressive. BSing you. This guy is, all of them are BSing you. Can you believe they're even talking about this? Anything to suppress Poilievre.
That's a level of exhaustion day in and day out I don't need in a party leader. Say what you want about Justin.
You can't take it.
Trudeau. He's not perfect. I don't get that tone a lot.
He's far from perfect, man. He called me racist. He said I hated women because I supported the truckers.
And I don't need that tone. I've seen that tone with our neighbors. I don't need that tone at all.
He doesn't need that tone, you big baby. You big baby. You don't need that tone. The tone was beautiful. It's what we want to hear. We're tired of hearing the other tone. The Trudeau tone.
Somebody needs to talk to him.
Somebody needs to talk to him. Somebody needs to sit him down.
Because he's been in the House of Commons since he's been like 24. Like, that's the speed he knows. Like, that's been his life experience as a professional. Finally, I need to know when you're talking to China as a leader of this country, or India, or when NATO is saying you're not paying enough for military, or Joe Biden.
What?
What's that going to be like? If that gets...
Well, if he talks to China, they'll have a translator. That's what it's going to be like. What are you talking about? You want Trudy to talk to China? How's that going? You want Trudy to talk to the rest of the world? We're getting mopped up. We're embarrassing. We look like fools. They all look at Trudeau like a weak man. How's that going to look like? Wouldn't you rather have a strong man?
Are you kidding me?
Huh?
Are you kidding me as a party leader, as a world leader, as a G7, G12 leader?
What?
There's time to round out those edges.
What the hell is he talking about? What the hell is he what's it? The reporter asked him, don't you think it's irresponsible that you said it was terrorism? And Poilievre just said, I didn't say it was. I said there was media reports that said it was terrorism. That's all I said in the House of Commons.
It's not election time yet. We say the same thing with Trudeau.
Not election time, thank God.
But listen, don't assume anything. Stephen Harper assumed a lot with Trudeau. That idiot Andrew Scheer assumed a lot with Trudeau.
Now Andrew Scheer's an idiot.
Assumed a lot with Trudeau. If you get into tone, he will spin you into a pretzel. And then we'll see where we're at. But there's still time.
What?
As a GTA voter...
GTA voter, here we go again.
Didn't like it.
Didn't like it. Why?
We'll see where we go from here. Let us know. Feedback at breakfasttelevision.ca. This one's got people talking.
It's unbelievable to me. Those four sitting down. We'll see where this goes. They didn't like it. All four of them. But how dumb. Something so small. And all Poilievre does is say, well, hold on, media. Hold on. I was referring to the media reports that we were getting in the House of Commons. Live. Obviously, we have to act on that. I'm telling Trudeau about it. Trudeau gets up, he agrees, and he leaves to work on it. By the way, they keep on talking about his tone. I seen that tone in the neighbors. I seen that tone with the neighbors. Dude, the only reason you're comfortable sitting on a couch right now is because of your neighbors. You should thank them every day you wake up that you're beside them. You want to be beside the strongest country in the entire world. And that's what your neighbors are. I don't like the tone of my neighbors. Goofy. And you know what? I mean, I would sit down and have beers with that guy. Like, I like the guy. I've seen him for years. But I wish he would just stop talking about politics. I wish I would stop talking about politics. Okay, and you know he's all for Trudeau, and why? You know he wants Trudeau to win again. It just seems so insane to me. And this is what they do. They convince you at home. Because he's convincing. They're all, well, he's the only one that's actually convincing. But he convinces the voter, hey, when you go to vote, you might not want to pick the guy who has a tone. You might not want to pick the guy that makes, really, truly, I mean, Pierre Poilievre talks about common sense all the time. That's what he is. That's what he has. He has common sense. Can you say the same about Trudeau? He's a drama teacher. He has no business being a prime minister. It's ridiculous. It's goofy. It's silly. So this guy right here said, he didn't even answer the question. Well, that's because they cut the clip off. Let's watch the rest of the clip.
Falsehoods that they admit they had been made in one single article, and now you've made yet another falsehood in your question. Where you are wrong is that CTV reported that the government of Canada was presuming that the incident was terrorist. So, yeah, that's what I said in my remarks. You're right. It was a media report. But it's citing media reports and not. Which is what I said in the House. I said there are media reports.
And you think that's a responsible thing to go on?
She just said, and you think that's a responsible thing to go on? That statement at the time?
What kind of statement? Calling something terrorist. I didn't.
Calling something terrorist, she said. I didn't.
I said there were media reports. No, there's no distinction. What I said, and I was right, was that there were media reports of a terror-related event.
Yeah.
By your admission, there were media reports of a terror-related event. And that media report, according to CTV, unless you're questioning their integrity now.
Where'd it come from?
Came from security officials in the Trudeau government.
Oh.
So do you think the CTV was irresponsible in putting out that tweet?
Do you think it was responsible?
Sorry, I'm asking, and I've already answered that.
Yep. See, he answered the question, guys. See what they do?
Do you think CTV was irresponsible to put that tweet out? Well, you just did comment. Okay. So, I just hope you're not going to print something that you have to apologize for again. I should also add, I think CP does work for CTV. So this is very awkward now, where we have CP attacking someone that they do work for. CTV is a client of CP, and now we have CP attacking CTV's reporting. But this is a very awkward issue. I don't know if there's a way that the two news agencies can sort that out.
Anyways, I just wanted to show you this. I don't want my channel to be about politics, guys. I hate politics. I'm not smart enough to even follow it. But when I see 4 people sitting on a couch saying how bad this guy is after what we've just been through with the other guy, I mean, they're not for Canada. They're just not. They can't be. You should be all for this guy. You should but they don't even like what he says. I don't like that tone. It's too aggressive. It's just, he's just too aggressive. Don't you take that tone with me. We heard enough south of the border with that tone. How's it working out for them? Anyways, stupid. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.